Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a pretty interesting episode. I'm sure it's going to ruffle some feathers, but I think it's going to stir a lot of conversation, and that's what we like to have on the channel, some great, solid sports talk. So let's get into this topic here. Now, I was recently watching a bit of that Clippers game last night. For those of you guys who are unaware, the Clippers are playing a road game against the Philadelphia 76ers and playing against a Joel Embiid, who's probably playing the best basketball of any NBA player right now. He's playing so well that Charles Barkley made it a point to say that Joel Embiid is the regular season MVP at this point, right? Joel Embiid has been on a tear, and he scored 40 points again just last night. And as I was watching the game, and ultimately I was watching some of the highlights, I couldn't help thinking to myself, how is it even possible that this team is still afloat? Like, if you watch the game, you watch the highlights, you're like, they were down, then they started coming back. They came back, and then Marcus Morris hit the big three from the corner. And you say to yourself, is this the most resilient team in the entire NBA? Think about it. The Clippers are the number 8th seed in the Western Conference, and they haven't had their 2-star players pretty much for the entire season. Kawhi Leonard hasn't bounced the ball a single time this season for the Clippers. He hasn't played a single game. And Paul George has been gone for, I think, close to a month now. And somehow, some way, this team is finding ways to be successful. And you sit back and you ask yourself, you're like, how is this even possible? Considering everything, considering the injuries and the players that they've been missing. How is this even possible? Then it took me back. I started to think, it took me back 2 years ago to when Kawhi Leonard ultimately made his decision to join the Clippers. Remember, during that decision period, Kawhi had a few options. He could have joined the Toronto Raptors, the Los Angeles Lakers, or the Clippers. Now, everyone thought the Clippers would be a long shot because they're like, okay, if you were to join the Clippers, although they made the playoffs last year, they took the champions who went to the finals. I think they took them 6 games in round 1 with Lou Williams and Patrick Beverley and Montrezl Harrell and these guys. But they were like, was Kawhi going to join a Clippers team and just be the solo star? He just did that in Toronto. And now teams are loading up. He's going to need a little bit more help. Look at what the Lakers had just added LeBron and AD. And, I think at that time, the Brooklyn Nets had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant at the time. So I think a lot of people thought that, he would probably join the Lakers. Now, some people said, should he have joined should he have stayed at the Toronto? I think the better decision at that time to make was to stay with the Toronto Raptors. But the problem was Masai Ujiri wasn't willing to part ways with Pascal Siakam via trade for Paul George. And therefore, Kawhi was like, I don't think Pascal Siakam is good enough. As good as Paul George, so I think he decided to bounce, and I think that was a mistake. I think if they had pulled the trigger, they would possibly have repeated. I think the Toronto Raptors probably would have won back-to-back NBA championships, but we'll never know. But I think it was a mistake on their part. But what I think Kawhi saw what KD saw. KD saw a toxic environment, a potential toxic environment in LA with LeBron, not with the Lakers. Right? Because every team struggles. Yeah, the Lakers go through ebbs and flow, but every team struggles. Every team goes up and down. Every single basketball team, whether you're successful or not, they all go through. The San Antonio Spurs, who won 5 championships, everybody goes through it. So every team ebbs and flows, right? But I think he saw the drama, KD, and Kawhi also ultimately saw the same thing and said, you know what? I want no parts of it. The fact of the matter is this: every star player, and I'm not knocking LeBron. I'm just saying what's not being said. Every star player that has played with LeBron has taken a major hit to their legacy. This is just a pure reality. Let's go through the list. Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade is an afterthought. People don't even talk about Dwayne Wade. People act like as if Dwayne Wade wasn't that dude, like it wasn't a finals MVP, like as if he didn't have one of the best NBA finals runs in history. People don't even talk about Dwayne Wade. People don't even mention the fact that when LeBron joined the Miami Heat, that first year in the playoffs, Dwayne Wade led that Miami Heat team in scoring. Nobody talked. He was so garbage that he led the team. So if Dwayne Wade was so trash, what does that make LeBron, who was playing alongside him? People don't talk about Dwayne Wade. Chris Bosh is marginalized and he's an afterthought. Do you talk? When was the last time you heard somebody talk about Chris Bosh? Let's think about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving probably hit the biggest shot in NBA Finals history. And now is like he's just some dude somewhere. Think about Kevin Love. Kevin Love was like a 25-10 guy with the Minnesota Timberwolves. He wasn't winning, but he was a hell of a player. He went to play with the Cavaliers. He ended up being a corner spot-up three-point shooter. And whenever anything went wrong, it was Kevin Love's fault. Anything went wrong, his legacy got tarnished. Think of Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was known as one of the most talented players in the NBA. Think of the run he had with the Lakers in year one. Now Anthony Davis is like, everybody's bringing out sticks and flogging him, hitting him with it like a piñata. And now look at Russell Westbrook. Now, Russell Westbrook's triple-double achievements are going to, ultimately hold water and they're going to, keep his career intact. But even him now, Russell Westbrook is the one that they're beating up every single day. He's the one that they're, Laker fans and the media is beating up on a daily basis. And I think Kawhi, and I'm pretty sure Kawhi said to himself, listen, yes, he's a great player. LeBron's a great player, but wherever he goes, drama follows him. For whatever reason, I don't understand what this thing is. Wherever he goes, drama follows him. And I think the second reason he decided not to join LeBron was because Kawhi was in a unique position where LeBron couldn't do anything for him. What would LeBron give Kawhi that he didn't already have? What could he have possibly given him that he was going to give him a Finals MVP? He already got 2 of those. He's going to give him a championship. He already got 2 of those. He's going to give him a Defensive Player of the Year. He already got 2 of those. He's going to help him make an All-Star team. He already did that. There was nothing that LeBron can do for him that he couldn't do for himself. And I'm very sure that if they had won a championship together, because they probably would, and if Kawhi Leonard outplayed LeBron James in the finals, which he's very capable of doing, LeBron would have still won the Finals MVP, even if Kawhi put up better numbers. That would have been the case. And I think Kawhi would have ultimately regretted it. Now, even though he hasn't won a title with the Clippers, at least his legacy is still intact. By the time they finish with Russell Westbrook, it's going to be ugly. By the time they're done with Russell Westbrook, it is going to be ugly. By the time LeBron is done with the Lakers, it's going to end up as a mess. The same way the Heat were a mess, the same way the Cavs are a mess, the Lakers will soon be there. And I think Kawhi, in my personal opinion, would have joined the Lakers. Personally, I think he would have joined the Lakers if LeBron wasn't on the Lakers. How do I know this? Because he had the opportunity to do it and he did it. LeBron was there. If Kawhi was all about winning, most would say, well, go join LeBron and AD. For sure you're going to win. And he was like, nah, I'm good. nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Y'all can keep that. I'm going to just do my thing over here. I'm going to try to figure it out. If I don't win, whatever. But y'all can keep that. He had an opportunity to join him, and he just didn't. I just think he would have joined him, but he would have joined the Lakers. I think Kawhi would have played with the Lakers, but I just didn't think he wanted to be a part of LeBron's circus. And that's usually what happens. It's like a traveling circus. And now he's with the Clippers, although they haven't won. In 2 years, they've made a conference final, something that the organization had never did in their history since they've been alive. They had never made a conference finals. Within 2 years of him just being there, they made a conference finals. And if he was healthy, well, y'all know who I would take to win the NBA finals, right? Y'all know who I'm going with. If he was healthy, Kawhi Leonard and these guys would have won the NBA finals. In my personal opinion, now, some people disagree. That's what I think. And if you think about what the Clippers got, the Clippers have a lot still working in their favor. Number one, they have stability, which is very important. Stability is very important for success. They still have Jerry West, who is arguably one of the best team builders, or if not the best team builder in NBA history. You have him, the architect, who helped the Golden State Warriors, was part of the Lakers, and now the Clippers. You have arguably the best coach in the NBA, and Ty Lue. If you want to argue that, just go look at the Clippers record. Case closed, nothing else to talk about. And they have one of the most passionate, or probably the most passionate owners in all of sports in Steve Ballmer, who is pretty much willing to go to any lengths to spend money to make sure he distinguishes himself and his organization and his brand from every other team in the NBA. Just go look at the new arena that they're building. So I think Kawhi, yes, he chose the challenge, but also I think he just wanted to avoid the drama. at the end of this season, some players' legacies are going to be tarnished on that Lakers roster, man. You just wait for it. It's coming. And I think Kawhi saw that and said to himself, you know what? I'll roll the dice and do something else. Y'all can keep that. Now, some people are going to disagree with me, but I think honest people are going to agree. So whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.